Let us pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and county assemblies for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important tasks in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under deliberations in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interest you have committed to our charge. Amen. Clerk, can you take us through the order of the day?
Third Assembly, second session, order number 131, Wednesday, 15th November to 30 p.m. Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, papers, messages.
Papers, Honorable Samuel Dede. Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Honorable Samuel Dede.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Pursuant to the provision of orders number 182.6 of the Kisumu County Standing Orders, I wish to table today, Wednesday, 15th November 2023, a report of water, environment and natural resources and climate change on the Kisumu County Water Bill 2023.
Honorable members, I confirm receipt of the report of Committee on Water, Environment and Natural Resources on the Kisumu County Water Bill 2023. Honorable Ochele. Yes, Honorable Wajewa.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Pursuant to the provision of order number 182.6 of the Kisumu County Standing Orders, I wish to table today, Wednesday, 15th November 2023, a report Sorry, I don't think this is the right one. You have given me something else. Okay, fine. Pursuant to the provision of orders 45.1 of Kisumu County Assembly Standing Orders, I wish to give a notice of motion that this House adopts a report.
Order, Honorable Wajewa. You're laying papers. We are yet to give the notice.
Sorry, Madam Speaker, I was not aware of this, and I don't know what these people have given me. So they should give me the correct thing.
Kindly help Honorable Wajewa with the right document.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Pursuant to the provision of orders of orders number 182.6 of the Kisumu County Standing Orders, I wish to table today, Wednesday, 16th November 2023, a report of the Joint Committee of Administration of Law, Justice, Constitutional Affairs, Good Governance and Security, and Trade, Tourism, Industry and Marketing. Thank you.
Honorable members, I confirm the receipt of the Kisumu, the report of the Joint Committee of Administration of Law, Justice, Constitutional Affairs, Good Governance, Security, Trade, Tourism, Industry, and Marketing. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Honorable members, two papers have been laid here. That is the report for water, environment, natural resources, and climate change on the Kisumu County Water Bill 2023, and the report of the Joint Committees on Administration of Law, Justice, Constitutional Affairs, Good Governance and Security, and Trade, Tourism, Industry, and Marketing. These we give to the House Business Committee to schedule them for discussion for adoption by the House. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Honorable Samuel Dead.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Pursuant to provision of orders number 45.1 of the Kisumu County Assembly Standing Orders, I wish to give a notice of motion that this House adopts a report of the Water, Environment, Natural Resources and Climate Change on the Kisumu County Water Bill 2023. Thank you.
Honorable Wajewa.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Pursuant to the provision of orders numbers 45.1 of the Kisumu County Assembly Standing Orders, I wish to give a notice of motion that this House adopts a report of Joint Committee of Administration of Law, Justice, Constitutional Affairs, Good Governance and Security, and Trade, Tourism, Industry and Marketing. Thank you.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Honorable members, it's statement hour. Next order.
Order number 8, commencement of business. Order number 8, motion on the Kisumu County Early Childhood Development and Education Bill 2023, second reading.
Honorable Seth Okum.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. May I request that the Kisumu County Early Childhood Development and Education Bill 2023 be read for the second time.
Yes, clerk.
Kisumu County Early Childhood Development and Education Bill, a bill for an act of Kisumu County Assembly to provide for the framework for the establishment of systems for the administration of childcare services and early years of education within Kisumu County. Memorandum of Objects and Reasons, statements of objects and reason for the bill. The essential purpose of the bill is to provide a legislative framework for comprehensive for early childhood education and development programs so as to achieve access to quality early childhood care, education and development for all the children within the county. Every child has the right to education. A good education enables a child to learn and grow, developing their gifts and potential. Early childhood development and education introduces children to the richness of the wider world and gives them a chance later on to obtain work and make a contribution to the society. The children's right is well recognized in the Education for All and Sustainable Development Goals initiatives of the United Nations and have fully been adopted within our Constitution, which advocates for free and compulsory education from each child. Statement for delegation of legislative powers and limitation of fundamental rights and freedoms. The bill delegates legislative powers to the CEC member responsible for ECD to formulate regulations not for operationalization and for provisions of this act, but does not limit the fundamental rights and freedoms.
Yes, Honorable Seth.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, now that the Kisumu County Early Childhood Development and Education Bill 2023 has been read for the second time, I request that the House be converted to the Committee of Whole. Thank you.
Honorable members. Honorable members, we are now in the committee of the whole house, and we can now proceed. The chair education will now proceed to take us through if there is any amendment on this bill, and we'll just proceed like that. Have a seconder, a debate on it, and then we pass as we move. So I give the opportunity to the committee chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair and honorable members. Honorable members, before this house was Kisumu County Early Childhood Development and Education Bill 2023 that we had just brought a report. And in that report, we had requested for some amendments in the clauses of the bill, including introduction of new clauses into the bill. So, honorable members, I request that in factoring the amendments, we shall go clause by clause as was in the report, and then we shall be doing discussions on the clauses. Chair and honorable members, the first amendment that we are requesting to do is on clause 8 for those who have the bill that was given to them. Page 6, honorable members, and in clause 8.2c, we are requesting to do amendment by deleting the phrase through their association to the county government immediately after the word levies. Clause 2c, pay levies through the association to the county government. So we want to delete and now clause 2c, honorable members, clause 2c, the bill be amended by deleting the phrase through the association to the county government. Clause 8, clause 8, you are in 3, honorable deputy majority leader. Clause 8, page 6. Clause 8, page 6. Clause 8.2c of the bill be amended by deleting the phrase through their association to the county government immediately after the word levies. So it will just remain, clause 2c should just read pay levies, pay levies. So, Honorable Chair, clause 2c will now read, clause 2c will read pay levies to the county government. Thank you, Chair, and I want to request thank you, honorable thank you, honorable members, thank you for that. It's clause 3c. 3c. Thank you, honorable members, for that notification. It's 3c. So we are deleting through the association and just leaving pay levies to the county government. So it will read, a person intending to offer childcare services but does not meet all the requirements for registration as set out in section 6.3 shall be issued with provisional registration valid for 12 months. Then 3 reads, notwithstanding section 9.1, such persons shall be required to pay levies to the county government. Thank you, Chair, and I request Honorable Adega to second.
Yes, Honorable Adega.
Thank you, Chair. I second the same.
Thank you. Now that the clause 8.3c has been amended, I now allow a debate on it before we put a question. Thank you. I think if we don't have, you have something, Honorable? Yes?
Chair, it is quite explanatory because if it is amended the way it is, then it will give those who are intending to offer childcare services direct connection to the county government. Not necessarily that they have to form association and do payments through their association. So in that regard, I believe this will open up and make work easier for persons intending to offer childcare services. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Next member on the same. If there is none, then we can now go ahead and put a question. I now put a question that clause 8.3 be amended to read that notwithstanding section 9.1, such person shall be required to pay levies to the county government. As many of the same opinion say aye. As many of the contrary opinion say nay. Ayes have it. It is amended as such. Thank you. Next.
Thank you, Chair. The next amendment we want to do on clause 11, part 1. And in that amendment, the bill, we want to delete nor require and replacing therefore with the phrase or use immediately before the phrase additional premises. And now it will read, the management committee shall not change the local. Thank you.
Honorable Komodo.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chair. Together with my colleagues, I wish to second the amendment. Thank you.
Thank you. Now that the clause 11 has been suggested and seconded, allow me to allow it for debate. Thank you. It is now open for debate. Honorable members, if there is no debate, I can go ahead and put a question. Okay. Honorable Chair, read it how it should be.
Think the Honorable Chair to read how it should be. Again, you read it, or read it again.
I think Honorable Member didn't get it very well.
But Chair, that's not the procedure of debating. That's the procedure that you stand up the chair to read for you a motion again and again. Then I'll be reading over. We are at the debating stage and you debate whatever you had. Chair, that is the procedure and the orders of the House.
Thank you, Honorable Dek, Honorable.
Honorable Chair, we are here to understand what we are doing and then we do it correctly. So they
Honorable.
I'm on the floor. Honorable Deputy Majority, I'm on the floor. Where you don't understand well, you just be patient, you be guided, then you can able to catch it up well. Honorable Chair, I think the committee chair is right. When you are a member of this House, where I don't understand well, you just ask the area that you don't understand. In this
case, Mr. Chair, I want to ask Honorable Chair of the committee to come clear. It shall or may. I think you need to rectify there. Shall or may. You know, shall not. The committee shall not or may not. I think you need to explain it well so that we can understand it well. But not getting you back to the debate, Honorable. Now, and I want to ask my brother, Senior, you can switch off your mic so that we can be audible. Yeah. Now you are a good boy. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. If you have anything.
Chair, I want to honor what the Deputy Majority Leader said and reread the amendment we want to do in clause 11, part 1 of the bill. And in our submission, we have said that what we want to do is to delete the phrase nor acquire. Nor acquire. That's the only thing we are deleting and replacing that phrase with or use. Or use. The reason why we are doing that, honorable members, is because if you refuse for private facilities to acquire land, for example, for expansion, just because they have not asked you, have gotten permission from the county education committee, CSEC, then it will be infringing into their rights, because we don't have any right to deny people the opportunity to acquire premises for their expansion. I mean, if you have a school, if you have an ECD, if you have a childcare facility, you are allowed to acquire land and then plan for future expansion. So what we are trying to hinder from this clause is, yes, you can acquire that land. You can even build a house on that land for intention of doing an ECD or a childcare facility. But before you start using it for a childcare facility or an ECD, you must seek approval. That's why we have deleted the word acquire and replace it with use. Our intention is to regulate the use of facilities as an ECD center or a childcare facility without approval. So, Honorable Chair, the bill will now read, and I repeat, the management committee, and in this we are referring to management committee of a childcare facility. So the management committee shall not change the location of the center or use additional premises for the purposes of running a childcare facility unless it has applied to and obtained the approval of CSEC. And that's what I asked the Honorable Badega to second. Thank you, Chair.
I think, Honorable Members, it is now very clear, so we can continue the debate. Thank you, Honorable Badega.
Yes.
You are out of order, Adega. Any Honorable Muya.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm supporting the amendment, but I have some small concern. Suppose there's a calamity like maybe some heavy rain that has gone with the roof or a building. How do we help such a situation? That one is a question, and I have a proposal. I think as much as we are amending this, we also need to insert what can protect these institutions in terms of eventuality like that one. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Tomya. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think
I'm also here to support the amendment. And I know, Chair, sorry. Thank you, Chair. Thank you for that correction. Mr. Chair, this amendment really has been substantiated by the Chair. It is so that important. Although my colleague has mentioned, like, I worry, like, what about if some eventualities happens? But then the same bill, the same amendment also goes with a rider that such kind of approval can still come from the CSEC. So in case of such kind of a facility that we need to use maybe extra, then we just need to seek for an approval to use whatever the alternate facility that we need to use. So to me, I think it is okay, and we can just go by the amendment. Thank you.
Okay. Next. If none, then I can now go ahead and put a question that this section 11.1 be amended as such. The management committee shall not change the location of the center or use additional premises for the purpose of running the child care facility unless it has applied to and obtained the approval of the CSEC. As many of the same opinion say aye, of the contrary opinion say nay, ayes have it. We proceed. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Chair, we are proposing that after clause 6, we are going to introduce a new clause. And that clause will change the numbering of the whole bill. So after clause 6, we are going to introduce a new clause, and the subheading of the clause will be Establishment of Child Care Management Committee. And it will have clause 7.1, which will read, there shall be established in each and every public child care facility a child care management committee. This is a brand new clause that is not in the bill. The bill did not propose this, so we are proposing a brand new clause that creates management committee for child care facilities. So in this new clause, it will now read clause 7. Once that happens, then clause 7 in the bill will be clause 8 will be clause 9 will be clause 10, like that until we finish numbering the bill. So I'll proceed and read for you what we proposed in this new clause that's not in the bill. And it will be Establishment of Child Care Management Committee. Clause 7.1 will read, there shall be established in every public child care facility a child care management committee. 7.2, the management committee shall be capable of A, taking, purchasing, or otherwise acquiring, holding, charging, or disposing of movable and immovable property. B, receiving donations and grants. C, doing or performing all other things or acts for the proper performance of its function under this act, or any other function as may be directed by CC member for education. Part 3 of clause 7 will read, in the performance of its function under paragraph A and B of subsection 2, the management committee shall first seek approval of the CC member. Then after clause 7, we'll have a new clause again, clause 8. And it will read, without prejudice. This is also not in the bill. These are the proposals that we are bringing because we didn't have a management committee for childcare facilities proposed in the bill. So we've introduced that. So there'll be a clause 8 which will read, without prejudice to the generality of section 7 of this act, which I have read, A public childcare facility established inside an ECD center shall be managed by an ECD Board of Management established in accordance with Section 29 of the Early Childhood Education Act 2021. Allow me to expound that, Honorable Chair, before we proceed, because I want us to finish with those new clauses at once. That we shall be having childcare facilities standing alone, and then we shall be having others that are built or are operated in existing ECD centers. So instead of forming another committee to manage one that is existing with an ECD, we are allowing the Board of Management of ECDs to manage the childcare facility that is run together with an ECD. That is what Clause 8 is talking about. Honourable members, in Clause 9, we are talking about composition of management committee. And this is the committee of childcare facility. And 9 will read, the management committee shall be composed of A, one person elected by the parents to represent the parents of the children within the facility. B, the center manager, who shall be the secretary. C, two persons with experience in matters of childcare, nutrition, social services, nominated by the CC member. And D, one person living with disability to represent children with disabilities. And E, in the case of sponsored childcare facility, one person nominated by the sponsor who shall be an ex officio member. Clause 10, honourable members, which is also a new clause, talks about the functions of the management of the committee. And it reads, 10.1, the functions of the management committee shall be to, A, identify the needs of childcare services within their local communities and develop viable strategies for meeting these needs. B, mobilize the parents and local communities to initiate and sustain the facility and support childcare programs. C, manage child care programs in the center in ensuring the provision of quality childcare services. D, identify local resources necessary to equip the childcare facility and identify sources for and undertake fundraising activities to raise funds for the facility. E, ensure the provision of adequate equipment and facilities within the childcare facility, that such equipments and facilities are well maintained. F, carry out advocacy in relation to the needs and the rights of the child in relation to the childcare. And G, carry out such other functions as may be necessary for the implementation of this act within the child care facility. Thank you, honourable members. Those are new clauses that we are requesting to have for the amendment of the proposed bill, and I want to request the Honourable Badega to second. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. The first clause I seconded, then the second clause was seconded by Komudo. But that time you denied me to contribute. But this one I second, Mr. Chair.
When he seconded, he can also contribute.
Honorable members, there is a proposal that we have additional clauses. That is a fresh clause 7, 8, 9, and 10. I now honorably give it to you for a debate. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I rise to second the the insert numbers. I like to so Chair, guide this honorable member here. Is really disturbing my contribution, Chair. Chair, I like to support the insert numbers, Chair. Chair, this will enable the county department to have a management committee. As we all aware, Mr. Chair, that each and every institution that is running must have a management committee chair. Chair, in this number 7 up to 10, also it helps us have an act and the laws that will guide the management committee and how they should operate the child care facility. Others, I support. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Ngeta. Next. We can now proceed to question if there is no unless someone has anything to input on these new clauses. And now put a question that we have additional clauses 7, 8, 9, and 10 to be part of this bill. As many of the same opinion say aye. Of the contrary opinion say nay. Ayes have it. We now have insertion of the clauses 7, 8, 9, and 10. Thank you. We proceed. Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Chair, in clause 30 of the bill, the committee had proposed that we amend it by deleting the words management committee for every ACD center and childcare facility respectively. Honorable members, I want to take people who have go to clause 30 in the bill. Clause 30 is in page 15. And it proceeds to page 16. So we are talking about clause 30. And we are proposing that we delete and management committee for every ECD and childcare facility respectively. We delete that and replace with board of management. And now it will read, there shall be a board of management There shall be a board of management for every ECD center and childcare facility, respectively. I hope we are there. We want to replace that with, there shall be a board of management. There shall be a board of management for every ECD and childcare facility as established in accordance with Section 29 of the Early Childhood Education Act 2021. Honorable members, the reason we are bringing this because there's a parent act, which is a national act that prescribes who should be managing childcare facility and ECD centers. And here we was the bill proposed management committee, but the act requires board of management. It's the board of management that's responsible for the management of ECD centers and childcare facility. So, honorable member, I want to request the honorable Ken Ouko to second.
Yes, Honorable Ken.
Thank you, Chair. I second that we go according to the constitution of the land. It is very important that whenever we are making any regulation or any kind of law down here, we must consider the constitution, which is supreme on everything. So whenever the constitution is explaining something very clear, like now, it is very important that we comply. Thank you.
Thank you. I think the amendment has been seconded by Honorable Ken. Now allow me to allow debate on it so that we can put a question thereafter. Thank you. It is now open. Yes, Deputy Majority Leader.
Yes, Chair. I just have a suggestion that in the subheading of clause 30, it is an establishment of board of management and management committee. In the amendment, we are doing away with management committee. Why then can't we put it establishment of board of management and again do away with the management committee?
Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Chair, I had explained that the management of early childhood education centers and childcare facilities is provided for in the Early Childhood Education Act 2021, which is a national act. So we have lifted what is required of that act into the Kisumu County Education, Early Childhood Education Development Bill. And we've lifted it the way it's supposed to be in that act, so that it reads, there shall be a board of management established in accordance with section 29 of the Early Childhood Education 2021. It's that section that establishes the board of management for ECDs and childcare facilities. Chair, I think that's the concern of the honorable members that I wanted to clarify. Thank you.
Is amending even the subheading, which you didn't amend. So let it be clear. The subheading, which was really had a declaration of under management committee, so he's deleting under management committee on the subheading.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, we can do that amendment too. If I get from your submission, is that now it's no longer under management committee, but it should be establishment of board of management. So, honorable members, I'll go again and make agree with those amendments. That the subheading of clause 30 will now be establishment of board of management. And now 31 will read, there shall be a board of management established in accordance with section 29 of the Early Childhood Education Act 2021. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. It's open, still open for the debate. Yes, Honorable Ajay.
Thank you, Chair. I think now it is in order because as it was earlier, it was a repetition. It was as if the Board of Management and Management Committee, these were two different managements, and it was sounding vague. But now, I support the amendment because it is now clear. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Next. I now put a question, if there is nobody else, that clause 30 be amended as had been proposed by the chair. As many of the same opinion say aye. Of the contrary opinion say nay. Ayes have it. We proceed. Thank you. It's amended.
We are proposing further amendments to clause 49. And Chair and honorable members, in our proposal, we want the whole clause deleted as proposed. We are going to delete all that is existing there and put a new clause. And that clause will now read, 49.1, the CC member shall make regulations generally for the better carrying out of the provision of this act. 49.2, the CC member shall prescribe minimum operation standards relating to public early childhood education centers and childcare facilities within 90 days of enactment of this act. Part 3 of 49, without prejudice to the generality of subsection 1, the CC member shall, A, prescribe minimum standards relating to the following matters. 1, premises and facilities. 2, practices in relation to children's learning and development. 3, staffing and parental or caregiver participation. 4, health and safety. 5, communication and consultation with parents. 6, the operation or administration of early childhood education services in a manner that ensures the health, comfort, care, education, and safety of children attending licensed early childhood services. Part 3C, Part 3B of 49 will read, without prejudice to the generality of subsection 1, the CC member shall provide for the grant, duration, expiry, renewal, suspension, transfer, reclassification, and cancellation of registration certificates of one or more specified kind for service providers for each kind of early childhood or childcare facility. (3D) shall read, prescribe the conditions subject to which registration certificates may be granted, renewed, or transferred, and the fees payable in respect of the grant, renewal, or transfer of such certificates. Part E shall read, prescribe conditions governing or that may be imposed in respect of registered education centers and the duties of their service providers. Part F, 3F shall read, prescribe the records to be kept by education centers in respect of children attending registered centers. Part G shall read, prescribe fees required to be paid under this act. Part H, prescribe standards for the management of mobile childcare facilities. 49.4 will read, regulation made under subsection 2 may prescribe different standards and other requirements for A, for early childhood services of different types or descriptions, and B, in respect of different kinds of registration. 49.5 shall read, the authority of the CC member to make regulation shall be limited to bringing into effect the provisions of this act and fulfillment of the objectives specified under subsection 1 and the principles and standards set out under the Interpretation and General Provisions Act, Cap 2, and the Statutory Instruments Act, number 23 of 2013 in relation to the subsidiary legislation shall apply to regulations made under this act. Honorable members, we are deleting 49 to give delegated legislative powers to the CEC members. And the reason why we are doing that is because it's the role of this assembly to make laws. But generally, the practice that regulations are made by the CCM members, especially in county governments. When they do this, we want to make sure that they are doing that within the framework of the law. And that's what we've provided for in the proposals for the new clause that we are introducing in clause 49. And I want to ask the Honorable Benson Ambuti Adega to second.
Thank you, Chair. I second the same.
Thank you. Now that the clause 49 has been amended and replaced with the 49 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and seconded, I now allow it for debate. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, much as I agree with the amendment, I think we should also be a bit serious in how we do our amendment. The number 49 amendment is a whole clause amendment. It would be good practice if before we come to this house, those amendments are either printed for us to ventilate so that we'll be able to debate. If I ask anybody here, the amendment that my brother has just read, maybe 2 or 3 is what I can remember. But if I had that written amendment, and I'll be able to debate effectively going by one by one. And I'm not opposed to the amendment, but I would want it to be a practice that we have it documented and provided for members. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Majority Leader. We can just go. Let's go ahead and debate. Thank you. Yes, Honorable Ajaya.
Thank you, Chair. I also want to agree with the Honorable Member. Before such amendments, it should be printed out to members. Then, because right now, those things which are being read, I've even forgotten some. And I don't know how I can agree with something I'm not even following well. So, in fact, the amendments should be put in some paper and then we read first. So when we agree or debate on it, we know what we are debating on. Because this is a whole clause, delegated legislation, which is being deleted and replaced with, I don't know whether I have it in my phone, but I've not seen it. I've just heard from the chair. So I don't know what to do, but the chair, I really want to see this before I agree and pass the. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. You know, sometimes I wish we are not on Hansard because these are members who are present here when we were passing the report. Whatever changes we are making in the bill right now is what was read in the report. This report, and I remember the speaker mentioned that this report was sent to everyone's page. And everybody has a copy. Maybe you've not read. Maybe you just said I then, but you did not read the report. It's word by word the way it is in the report. So we are lifting what you agreed with in the report and now factoring that in the bill. That is what we are doing here, Chair. So saying that we need to print another thing, and members said hi here when we were passing the report, now they want another thing again, then I don't understand, honorable members. I wish you can guide them. We are almost 1.5 years into this assembly. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. I think you are right. This report was in this house, and I think every amendment had come from the report. They could not amend it at the report level, but now at the second reading is when the amendments are being proposed one by one as per the report which was delivered. Thank you. So we can proceed to debate.
Mr. Chair, it is in this house that you also know that there are members who cannot access certain information through their phone. One being Oeko and myself. And we agreed some of these things we make hard copies. Yeah. I'm not a member of this committee. You stand to be guided, Mr. Chair. You are the chairman, and you know very well I'm not a member.
Yes. Honorable Tom Nyaoke.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I would have a divergent opinion regarding the same, but I'm supporting this bill, and the procedure of this House is just the same. We are now here almost 1 year, and we have been receiving some of these motions or documents a minute to time, and we are used to that. Now I'm already comfortable with that. So let my colleagues also catch up with the procedure, the normal procedure of the House. Chair, the chair of the committee has read to us through, and what I will ask my colleague is, when he's reading them, you should be noting down where you think you have a problem. If you feel you don't have a problem, you just proceed and keep on listening the way I was doing. So I listened to him, all the list that he read, and so far I don't have any problem with what the amendments that he was trying to bring forth. What I realize is that the amendments being brought forth are now very specific to what is supposed to be done and to be followed, Mr. Chair. I therefore support the amendment that has been brought, that clause 49, to the latter. Thank you, I support.
Thank you. Okay, next. Komudo.
Thank you so much, Chair. Many thanks to my colleagues as well. The amendments are quite clear. Have been read by the chair of the committee, and very clearly spelled, just in case it escaped your attention. The previous times that it was brought, I think we are very clear, and I support the amendments. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Komudo. Next honorable member. Thank you. If it's done, then we can now put a question. Allow me to put a question now. That clause 49, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, now as amended be part of this bill. As many of the opinions say aye, as many of the contrary opinions say nay, ayes have it as amended. Thank you. Chair.
Thank you, Chair and honorable members. Chair and honorable members, you remember we introduced 4 new clauses, and that was clause 7, 8, 9, 10. And this was to be done immediately after clause 6. Once that is done and that is introduced, then that changes the numbering of the clauses that we have in the bill. Honorable members and Chair, now I want to propose that this amendments be factored in the bill, that the numbering of the clauses be changed, and clause 7 becomes clause 11, clause 8 becomes clause 12, clause 9 becomes clause 13, clause 10 becomes clause 14, clause 11 becomes clause 15, clause 12 becomes clause 16, clause 13 becomes clause 17, clause 14 becomes clause 18, clause 15 becomes clause 19, clause 16 becomes clause 20, clause 17 becomes clause 21, clause 18 becomes clause 22, clause 19 becomes clause 23, clause 20 becomes clause 24, clause 21 becomes clause 25, clause 22 becomes clause 26, and clause 23 becomes clause 27, 24 becomes 28, 25 becomes 29, 26 becomes clause 30, clause 27 becomes clause 31, Clause 28 becomes clause 32. Clause 29 becomes clause 33. Clause 30 becomes clause 34. Clause 31 becomes clause 35. Clause 32 becomes clause 36. Clause 33 becomes clause 37. Clause 34 becomes clause 38. Clause 35 becomes clause 39. Clause 36 becomes clause 40. Clause 37 becomes clause 41. Clause 38 becomes clause 42. Clause 39 becomes clause 43. Clause 40 becomes clause 44. Clause 41 becomes clause 45. Clause 42 becomes clause 46. Clause 43 becomes clause 47 in the new numbering. Clause 44 becomes clause 48. Clause 45 becomes clause 49. Clause 46 becomes clause 50. Clause 47 becomes clause 51. Clause 48 becomes clause 52. And clause 49 now becomes clause 53. And I request the Honorable Benson Nambuti Adega to second. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Adega.
Thank you, Chair. I second the changes of the numbering.
Thank you. I allow that for debate. If you have anything on the numbering, thank you. Thank you. Seems there is no any issue. Allow me to put a question that the numbering be amended as per the chair's proposals. As many of the same opinion say aye. As many as of the contrary opinion say nay. Ayes have it. The amendment is done as such. Thank you. Yes, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair and honorable members. Those were the changes or the amendments that the committee had requested to have in the bill. Honorable member, you can open it up for other honorable members if they have any amendments they want to make in the bill different from what the committee had proposed. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. As proposed by the chair of the committee, if anybody has, any honorable member has any further amendment, we can proceed. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, if there is no any other amendments, then I request that the committee of whole is be converted to plenary. Thank you.
Members?
Honorable members, I want to ask the chair of the committee of the whole house to report back to plenary.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, in the committee of the whole, we had various amendments which took place, and I wish to report them as such. Madam Speaker, the clause 8(2)(c) of the bill was amended by deleting the phrase "through the association" to the county government immediately after the word levies, and amended accordingly. The same applies to clause 11(1) of the bill, which was amended by deleting the phrase "not acquire" and replacing thereof the phrase "or use" immediately before the phrase "additional premises." Same with the part 2 under child care facilities was amended by introducing the following new clauses immediately after the clauses 6 as follows. And Madam Speaker, this now even changed the numbering, that a new clause 7 was introduced under subheading Establishment of Child Care Management Committee. 7.1, there shall be established in every public child care facility a child care management committee. 2, the management committee shall be capable of A, taking, purchasing, and otherwise acquiring, holding, charging, or disposing of movable and immovable property. B, receiving donations and grants. C, doing or performing all other things or acts for the proper performance of its functions under this act, or any other functions as may be directed by the CCM for education. 3, in the performance of its functions under paragraph A, B of section 2, the management committee shall first seek approval of the CCM. Clause 8 was also introduced, which reads, without prejudice to the generality of section 7 of this act, a public child care facility established inside an ECD center shall be managed by the ECD Board of Management, established in accordance with the section 29 of the Early Childhood Education Act 2021. There was also introduction of clause 9 with subheading composition of the management committee. The management committee shall be composed of A, one person elected by the parents to represent parents of the children within the facility. B, the center manager who shall be the secretary. C, 2 persons with the experiences in matters of child care, nutrition, and social services nominated by the CCM. And D, 1 person living with a disability to represent children with disabilities. And lastly, E, in the case of a sponsored child care facility, 1 person nominated by the sponsor who shall be an ex officio member. There was also introduction of clause 10 with subheading functions of the management committee. 10.1, the function of the management committee shall be to A, identify the needs of the children of the child care services within their local communities and develop viable strategies for meeting these needs. B, mobilize the parents and local communities to initiate and sustain the facility and support child care programs. C, manage child care programs in the center in ensuring the provision of quality child care services. D, identify local resources necessary to equip the child care facility and identify sources for and undertake fundraising activities to raise funds for the facility. E, ensure the provision of adequate equipment and facilities within the child care facility and that such equipment and facilities are well maintained. F, carry out advocacy in relation to the needs and the rights of the child in relation to the child care. And G, carry out such other functions as may be necessary for the implementation of this act within the child care facility. Thank you. Madam Speaker, we also amended clause 30 of the bill by deleting the words "the management committee" for every ECD center and childcare facility respectively, immediately after the words Board of Management, and replacing therefore with the words established in accordance with the Section 29 of Early Childhood Education Act 2021. Clause 30 therefore proposed to provide as follows. There shall be a Board of Management established in accordance with the Section 29 of the Early Childhood Education Act 2021. That Clause 49 under delegated legislation be amended by deleting the entire provision and replacing therefore with the following new clauses. 49.1, the CC member shall make regulations generally for the better carrying out of the provisions of this act. 2, the CC member shall prescribe minimum operation standard relating to public early childhood education centers and childcare facilities within 90 days of enactment of this act. 3, without prejudice to the generality of subsection 1, the CCM member shall A, prescribe minimum standards relating to the following matters. 1, premises and facilities. 2, practices in relation to children's learning and development, staffing and parental care or caregiver participation, health and safety, communication and consultation with the parents, and lastly, the operation and or administration of early childhood education services in a manner that ensures the health, comfort, care, education, and safety of the children attending the licensed early childhood services. C, provide for the grant, duration, expiry, renewal, suspension, transfer, reclassification, and cancellation of registration certificates of one or more specified kinds for service providers for each kind of early childhood and childcare services. D, prescribe the conditions subject to which such registration certificate may be granted, renewed, or transferred, and the fees payable in respect of the grant, renewal, and transfer of such certificates. E, prescribe conditions governing or that may be imposed in respect of registered education centers and the duties of their service providers. F, prescribe the records to be kept by education centers in respect of the children attending registered centers. And G, prescribe fees required to be paid under this act. H, prescribe standards for the management of mobile child care facilities. And 4, regulations made under subsection 2 may prescribe different standards and other requirements. A, for early childhood services of different types or descriptions, and B, in respect of different kinds of registration. 5, the authority of the CC member to make regulations shall be limited to bringing into effect the provisions of this act and the fulfillment of the objectives specified under subsection 1 and the principles and standards set out under the Interpretation and General Provisions Act Cap 2 and the Statutory Instruments Act number 23 of 2013 in relation to subsidiary legislation shall apply to regulations made under this act. Thank you, Madam Speaker. And also on the numbering, Madam Speaker, there was also amended numbering of the act starting from clause 7. Clause 7 of this act now was converted to clause 11. Clause 8 was converted to clause 12. 9 to 13. And 10 becomes 14, 11 becomes 15, 12 becomes 16, clause 13 becomes 17, clause 14 becomes 18, clause 15 becomes 19, clause 16 comes number 20, clause 17 becomes 21, clause 18 becomes 22, clause 19 becomes clause 23, clause 20 becomes 24, clause 21 becomes 25, clause 22 becomes clause 26, clause 23 becomes 27, clause 24 becomes 28, clause 25 becomes 29, clause 26 becomes clause 30, clause 27 becomes 31, clause 28 becomes 32, clause 29 becomes 33, clause 30 becomes 34, clause 31 becomes clause 35, clause 32 becomes clause 36, clause 33 becomes clause 37, clause 34 becomes clause 38, clause 35 becomes 39, clause 36 becomes 40, clause 37 becomes clause 41, clause 38 becomes clause 42, clause 39 becomes clause 43, clause 40 becomes 44, clause 41 becomes 45, clause 42 becomes 46, and clause 43 becomes 47, clause 44 becomes 48, 45 becomes clause 49, clause 46 becomes clause 50, clause 47 becomes 51, and clause 48 becomes 52, and lastly clause 49 now becomes 53. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, the chair of the whole house has reported, and I therefore want to put a question that the house do agree with the report of the committee. May as many of that opinion say aye. May as many of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it, and the report therefore becomes part of the bill. Honorable members, the bill was first introduced to this house by way of first reading. It was committed to the Committee of Education that subjected it to public participation. A report was tabled and adopted by the House. Having been read a second time, I want to direct that the House Business Committee schedules the bill for third reading, and that the Office of the Clerk makes necessary arrangements for the third reading. Next order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. There is no other business for transaction on the other paper today.
Honorable members, there being no any other business, the House adjourns until tomorrow, 16th November 2023 at 2:30 hours.